I'm Matt with Etrailer, and today we're talking about our Glacier Chains tire chains on our 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee. We're going to have this on our rear axle as what the manual recommends, and our tire size is going to be 265, 60, R18. Now, we just have that on this tire size today because that's just what we have, but this will fit a range of different tire sizes. If you're not sure if this is going to fit yours, you can plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find what's going to be the best fit for you. So let's check them out. These are going to be a great set of chains if you're looking for something more for those light duty snow and ice conditions, or you just need something to get you legal in your state. Now the reason why they're just recommended for light duty snow and ice conditions is because we have roller links. Roller links don't have a whole lot of bite to them, but what they do for you though is, since they do roll, they provide you more of a smooth ride overall. It's also going to be made from a low carbon steel, so it won't be as durable as some of our other chains, but that's also going to assist with driving over any bumpy roads, and it's going to help absorb a little bit more of that impact. It's also going to be Class S. So Class S means they're going to be pretty low to our tire, and they're going to give us plenty of room to fit next to our suspension back here. And we're going to have this ladder pattern design. That ladder pattern design is to help give you more traction when you're stopping and starting. And at the bottom, we're going to have this lever. This lever is going to help take out a lot of the slack we get in our chains, so getting them on is going to be a lot easier. They're going to come two to a set in this pretty light duty bag, and most times I would worry about them tearing through this bag, but since these are light duty chains, they shouldn't do that. But I still advise investing in a small tote, because getting your chains back in here can be a real pain, especially when you have been driving on them through snow, ice, dirt, or rocks. A lot of that can get caught up in those chains, and trying to make them compact enough to fit in here with that can be pretty difficult sometimes. But overall, I think if you're just looking for more of a light duty set of chains, just stay legal in your state, I think these are going to do just fine. Now, if you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more premium, easier to take on and off because you won't have to make any connections behind your tire, and getting under here can be a tight fit, then I'd recommend some Koenig tire chains. But if you want something a little bit more affordable though, Titan Chains does make a set of roller links that you can make all your connections on the front side of things. But as for an install, even though we are getting underneath our vehicle, really making that connection isn't too bad if you just kind of work with it a little bit. But if you're curious about how we handled it, just stay tuned, we'll walk you through it. To start off the installation, I recommend grabbing some gloves. It's just going to make this a lot easier. And if you are doing this for the first time, I recommend staying home and trying them on, because you don't have to try to figure this out on the side of the road in the middle of a blizzard. But what we are going to be looking for is for any damages to our links. So we want to make sure everything's looking pretty good, nothing's out of whack, and we want to make sure the orientation is correct. So you'll notice we have this hook. We want to make sure that is facing up, so it's away from our tire so it doesn't damage anything. And this lever right here is furthest away from our tire and closest to us. Once that looks good, we can start putting it on. And to do that, I recommend grabbing it from the center. It's going to make putting this on a lot easier to make even. And we're just going to drape it over and make sure both sides aren't hanging down too low. We don't want it to make contact with this rim, because that could also scratch anything up. And I like to maneuver each side kind of like this, because what that's going to do for us is making these connections on the front and back a lot easier. Speaking about those connections, the first one we're going to make is the back. And all we're going to do is grab the side with the metal blocks and push it through that side with the channel, with that opening. I'm going to just push those blocks through. And we want this somewhat tight, not too tight right now. And once you have it through, we're going to just push it down until it latches on. Now, you might have to do this a few times because we want both sides to be even. That's kind of hard to gauge how far we are already, but you want both sides to be even because if it's uneven, it's not going to give you a snug fit. And to make those connections on the front is going to be a very similar process. We're going to come over here, grab those middle blocks, push them through that channel until it's pretty tight. Might be able to get one more out of this. And once it's pretty tight, we're going to push this lever down and make this connection. Just going to scoot that out of my way, just like that. Now, we do have this little connector here, and that's just a grab if you have too much of this chain hanging out, but we don't have enough space to really reach that, so we won't have to worry about that. At this point, I'm just going to give everything a little snug test or pull test, make sure everything feels pretty good. I'm liking it so far, and if you do, you can repeat that same process on the other side. Something I do recommend, like I was talking about earlier, is a rubber tensioner, and that is going to pull out a lot of slack as you drive because things can kind of shift and loosen up. When you are putting this on, I recommend putting it on in the star pattern because what that's going to do is help disperse all that to make sure it's tight all the way around. And something you might do, you might put it in a wrong spot, that's okay. You can just easily move it over. Just shift things down until everything feels pretty snug. And an important thing to note too is you want to make sure that these metal hooks are facing away from your tire so they don't puncture anything. After this, just give it another good snug test, make sure it's feeling good. Put one of those on the other side too. And at this point, I recommend either pulling forward or back some, just make sure everything's pretty good still. And if it is, you can take it on the road. And that was just a look at the installation and some of the features of the Glacier Chains tire chains on our 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Thanks for watching.